Now we take the next paper, which is on what is Afenifere today and where is Afenifere now. Where are we now? To present the paper on that topic is no other person than the General Secretary of the group, Chief Sola Ebiseni. Chief Sola Ebiseni, can you please come to the podium, sir?
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me first say that I am one of those deliberately recruited by our leader, Chief Adebanjo, to serve with him. Before he appointed me the Secretary General of the organization in 2021, I have not held any position in Afenifere, though I have been a member of the National Caucus. There are so many things Baba told me, and some of which he might not even have shared with anyone. For instance, before I go on, when Peter Obi came to Ibadan at the inauguration of his presidential campaign, I'm sure Dr. Ogbola Adetunji of Oyo State will bear me out. We were at Premier Hotel in Ibadan, and I went to Baba. Bola Adetunji was there, Toyin Falade was there, Mama Doati was there, Prince Matiminu was there, and I asked him, Baba, what was your role in the 1963 treasonable felony trial? He was shocked, and I asked him further, your father was arrested while you people were in Ghana. What was it you people were discussing with Kwame Nkrumah? Beyond what you said in court, was it truly true that you people were planning to overthrow Nigeria or the government of Balewa? Baba looked at me. For a moment he said, get out. And I kept quiet. The following week, a Afenifere meeting was going to be held in his house. And he called me and said, shall I come to the meeting earlier? Because I had something to discuss with you before the meeting. And Emmanuel will bear me out. He brought me to his bedroom. What he discussed with me about that issue, I will only share with you at the end of my presentation. If the moderator stops me at 10 minutes, you will not hear it. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, so many things have been said, and I wouldn't want to take your time to go into the history. Those who are more competent than I am to say so have said so. Therefore, I will only speak to you about what you know, and therefore I may not particularly read from my text here. It was a defining moment for Afenifere to determine where a Yoruba personality like Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was contesting, and for Afenifere to root for a personality of Igbo extraction, and said that was our candidate. It was not that easy, but it took a personality like Adebanjo to get all of us to agree on that. Let me say quite clearly that people have been saying Afenifere is socio-political, is this and that. To Adebanjo, Afenifere is a political party. Am I correct? All the Afenifere in the house, am I correct? You can't go to Baba and say, Baba will just tell you, it is because of the kind of constitution that we have, where you need to meet certain criteria before INEC can register you. He said, therefore, Afenifere is a political party. And to demonstrate that, at every point in time, Afenifere had never been non-partisan. Afenifere had never sat on the fence. There was a time Afenifere supported Atiku. Am I correct? At another time, he supported Jonathan. What was important to Afenifere and to our leader is that you must agree that Nigeria is a country of entrenched ethnic nationalities, and that what is best suited for Nigeria is true federalism. Once you agree, you are going to restructure. Once you agree, you are going to restructure along the foundational covenant of true federalism. Afenifere will support you. Now, on the 31st of May, 2021, a meeting of the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum was called at Sheraton Hotel in Abuja. A decision was going to be taken on which region of Nigeria will produce the next president after Buhari. Of course, Edwin Clark of blessed memory led. Chief Adebanjo was his deputy on the Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum. Ambassador George Obiozo of Ohaneze Indibo and Drs. Pogu Bitrus for Middle Belt Forum. That meeting held in Abuja for 2 days. At the end of the day, they resolved that the next president of Nigeria will come from Southern Nigeria. And for that reason, no person from Southern Nigeria in any political party must accept the position of national chairman of any party or the vice presidential candidate. We came back. It was therefore the need for us to determine if the thing comes to the South, where will it go? For 14 months on, and let me check my record, and I have that at the Secretariat, at the Secretary General. On the 29th of July, 2021, Professor Okuromu presented a paper at the National Caucus of Afenifere in Chief Adebanjo's place at Isonyaugbo. And for 14 months, we debated which part, as at that time, Peter Obi has not made any declaration. We debated which part of the country would the next president of Nigeria come from. We have agreed it will come from the South. And let me again say that Afenifere is constituted by men of different political persuasion. But like in Yoruba land, when Afenifere takes a decision, they will say, Awo ni won. What is the meaning of Awo? Once, no matter your own view, once that decision is taken, you are bound by it. As at that time, not all of us, we were not even members of Labour Party. I'm correct. But that was a decision. For 14 months, there was rigorous debate. And on the 26th of September 2022, after we have agreed, a press conference was called in Lagos. Chief Adebanjo unfolded the decision of Afenifere, and it was articulated like this. If you say that the next president of Nigeria will come from the South, on the basis that the man who held that position is from the North, when it comes to the South, the same equity that determines the decision not to take it back to the North must be at play in the South. And then we did an X-ray. General Obasanjo was there for the Southwest. Jonathan was was president in the South-South. The logical conclusion is that the next president of Nigeria will come from the Southeast. Afenifere took that decision and we made it public. I was going to ask a question from Baba's children, because a lot of things happened. There was no name we were not called. There was no name, Omale. You know what all of that means? We stood our grounds. At a point, they said Baba's mother was an Igbo woman. Is that correct? Is your grandmother? They said Baba's mother was an Igbo woman. After they have even said Obasanjo's father was from the East. But those are the kind of things Afenifere faced. When some of our people were becoming ambivalent, Baba asked a question. He said in the NYM, where all of them were Nigerian Youth Movement, he said there was a time to take a decision between N.S. Okoli and Akisoya. to go to the assembly. So at that stage, Chief Awolowo supported Ernest Okoli from the east. It was from Nembe in the present Bayelsa State. And Chief Nnamdi Azikiwe and Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe and others supported Akinsoya. At the end of the day, Ernest Okoli won. Notwithstanding that he was older than Awolowo in age, because of that singular steadfastness, he opted to becoming a member of the Action Group. So Baba informed us, he said the time has come now for us to do like Awolowo did. If we x-ray the situation and we believe that the equity favors the Southeast, irrespective of what anybody says, we are going for the Southeast. We took that decision. Some of us were sent to radios and television to articulate it, which we did to the best of our ability, or sent to some other groups who were not members of the Labour Party after we have adopted him. One of them is seated before us here. If he doesn't mind me mentioning his name, I was sent to His Excellency, the former governor of Osun State, to go to his house. He engaged me from 8 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. And he saw the reason in the decision taken by Afenifere. So many other people, we were sent out. By the way, I was the Southwest coordinator of Ubidati, and my brother Oshutoku was Director General. But those are the tasks that Baba put on us for the purpose of one Nigeria. Now, where are we today? Where do we go from here? If I've not spent more than 5 minutes. Sir, okay. Now, where do we go from here? No, I won't talk where do we go from here. Where are we as Afenifere? Where we are as Afenifere is the Nigerian nation. Like Dr. Fakunda said, another round of elections are coming. And like he said, Afenifere has been articulating a lot of issues in Nigeria. Are we truly federal? There are some of the things that our people celebrate, which when you listen to them, you baffle. Very recently now, the president of Nigeria or the Senate, regional commissions are now being created in the states, in the regions, development commission, and people were clapping for it. My own view is entrenchment of unitarism in the states. When we were at the 2014 National Conference, of which I was a delegate, it was agreed that you have cooperation and collaboration among the states, among the component states of the region. And the component states of the region will determine for themselves. Before then, the Southwest had what we call DAWN. That is Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. I'm sure thank you, sir. Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. It was homegrown. It's not something that the federal government had to do by legislation. And I was asking myself as I was going through this paper, I was not too young in the Second Republic. Things like this happened. Shagari created river basin development authorities in every state and appointed presidential liaison officers. During elections, those presidential liaison officers were alternative governors in the various states to work for the federal government. I have an uncle who was then the chairman of Benin-Owena River Basin Development Authority in Ondo State. Each time he was coming home, his convoy was more than that of the governor of Ondo State. And I don't want to say more than that. But the truth is that the development commissions you are celebrating today are unitary, are to entrench the federal government in the various regions. You will see it in the 2027 elections. Another thing is local government autonomy. All of us, when the president decided to go to court to the Supreme Court to force the Supreme Court to amend Section 162 of the Constitution for the purpose of what they call local government autonomy. By the way, I was once chairman of local government under the SDP far back in 1990. As a matter of fact, one of, if not the youngest local government chairman in Nigeria then. We know all these tricks of local government autonomy. First and foremost, before we talk of local government autonomy, do we first talk of local government equity in Nigeria? Why should local government be a means of access to the federation accounts? Why should we, in a federation, say that the local government is not the business of the state? Because you do not want to make the local government the business of the state. That is the crisis you have in Osun now. That is the crisis you have in Edo now. That's the crisis you have in Rivers State now. What the federal government is trying to do is to create pockets of resistance. There is no governor that we joke with the management and control of his local governments. And when you are talking about equity, I've said this in many fora. The local government is used as a means of determining so many things. But there is no equity in its creation. The entire southeast of Nigeria has 95 local governments. Yet, if you pick Katsina, 34, you pick Jigawa, 27, you pick Kano, 44. Those three local government, states in the northwest have a combined number of 105 local governments. If you are a man from the southeast and you want to contest election, and the primary is based on local government basis, before you start that contest, you know what your situation is going to be. And it's not just, it's like that everywhere. Thank God, His Excellency, the governor of Osun State is here. Or the former governor, pardon me. In Osun State, you have 30 local governments. I'm talking of Southwest now. By population and size, and I say that authoritatively, Ondo State is larger than Osun. Ondo State has 18. Ekiti has 16. If you combine both Ondo and Ekiti, they are 34, and Osun alone is 30. For the purpose of revenue allocation, Ondo State is an oil-producing state. Now you take revenue from the derivation account. The money that goes to local governments, which is about 500 million naira monthly, is such that all Osun needs to do is to appropriate money for the extra 12 local governments against Ondo State. So whatever Ondo State takes out of derivation is rubbished. Go to the southeast, to the south-south. River State is bigger in size and population than Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom has 31 local governments. River State has 23. What is the parameter? Kaduna is the largest local government, state in the north. Kaduna has 23. Katsina, that was carved out of Kaduna just recently, has 34. And Jigawa, that is taken out of Kano, has 27. And Katsina has 23. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if we are talking about restructuring for the purpose of true federalism, what we advocate in Afenifere is that there must be all-round equity. The logic of federalism itself is based on fairness among the federating states. Finally, my story. Before you send me away with your claps, let me finally say what Chief Adebanjo told me. Baba invited me, because I must say this, Baba invited me into his bedroom. He said, Sola, what was on your mind when you asked that question? I said, I have read all the books of Awolowo and all of it, but that is missing. What was the truth of the treasonable felony trial of 1963? Baba now looked at me. He said, Sola, I read your column in every Tuesday in the Vanguard, because I can see you understand Nigeria. He said, we never had a gun. We did not even have a knife. He said, but what we have is knowledge. He now said, ask those other political parties in the First Republic to show you their blueprint. He said, what they are afraid of is our blueprint. We did not stage any coup, we did not plan. He said, why will we plan when we are Democrats ourselves to overthrow government by non-democratic means? He now took me to the Bible. He said, our people perish without knowledge. So that's the fear they have. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for this small opportunity for us, and to say that my mission is complete. I will have no local standard to go anymore from here. I thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Well done.